Hello, this is Jefferson Aldridge from Giving is Good. Today we have Christina Bynum Breaux with us, and she operates a foundation called Stepping Stones Foundation, and she's been doing it for 20 plus years. She's very active in her local community. She specializes in helping at-risk youth, teens probably primarily, that are here locally, just basically in the city that she lives in. She happens to be in the city that I live in. And what we want to talk about today with her is what any one of us can do to get involved with Stepping Stones Foundation. You can give your time. She could use some volunteers. They operate their own store to raise funds, a little retail store in our city where people give stuff, they sell it, they take those funds, and then they help kids, all right? You can give money directly, and then she's going to tell us all about the things that she can do with those funds and how she helps kids. And she's probably going to tell us maybe a story or two, because she's got plenty of them. I've been able to hear some of the stories over the years. So Christina, oh wait, hold on. I've got to also talk about the fact that she's a published photographer, okay? And I'm only doing that for her just because she's really good at what she does. And you can Google Christina Bynum Breaux and see all of her cool work. Right? She didn't know I was going to say that, just so y'all know. I'm just bragging on her a little bit for fun. So Christina, tell us how you got your start. Okay. Tell us what your goals are for some of these children that you're able to help. I want the public, the viewers, to see your heart. I want them to understand who you are, what you're trying to accomplish, how they can help you, but I also want them to understand about the kids that you help. How in a nice city in America, in Texas, it's not affluent, but it's not poverty-stricken, right?
Yes.
I mean, I would assume we're a normal middle-class city. So how do kids end up living in cars? How do they end up at your home? Tell us all about it. Kind of just fill us in. Tell us what it is that you think we need to know as the public.
Well, first off, Stepping Stones, I did start 20 years ago, and how I got started is I started my studio at the same time, and I became very busy, and I felt very blessed. So making that kind of money, I didn't feel that it was mine to keep. And so I went into the middle school where my daughter was going to school, and I asked the principal, what can I do to help some of these children? And the principal at the time said, well...
Were they surprised when you showed up at the school and asked the principal, hey, what can I do to help kids?
What can I do to help other kids?
Yeah.
They were surprised. And being a photographer, I'm like, well, what can I do? And she said, we do have a group of girls, they're at-risk children. I'm like, what's at risk? I don't know what at-risk is. At-risk is less likely to graduate due to circumstances. And so I said, okay, well, bring them to my studio. I'd love to do some headshots, maybe do some nice things for these girls. Well, they got a bus, brought them to my studio. I did headshots, black and white at the time. And when I brought the pictures back to the school, it was crazy how everybody was oohing and awing over the pictures of the girls in the office and how the little girls felt it just really lifted them. Okay. And when I was shooting them, I saw how empty and how sad they were. So I thought, okay. So I brought the pictures in. It was around the holidays, and then some of my customers would bring me gift cards and said, hey, give these to these girls you're helping. So it kind of grew from there. And from any time, some of these girls would come stay at my home for the weekend to get away from mom's boyfriend. Some would come stay weeks, and then some would stay years. So
years.
And I had my own 3 kids, and I would take them with me on vacations. I just did for them what a normal mother would do. The common thread between all of these girls, and of course guys, but the common thread was mom's either on drugs, chooses men over her children, alcohol, or just totally absent, and there's really never a father.
Wow.
So anyway, that's pretty much what got my heart is I thought, because my kids are so spoiled, I love my kids, why wouldn't I do all these wonderful things these kids didn't have? So in 2009, these children were grown and they'd gone into their communities and they kind of did the same thing. And I thought, all right, I can't stop here. It works. So I filed for my 501(c)(3), and in 2009, I still had to go search for these children. So I actually went into some areas where I knew my first group came from. I would bring a very large 16-foot trailer with clothing and supplies, bring it into the area and share with the children. And that's how I would get them in, and find out, what are your needs? Do you need mentors? What are your needs? And so that's how I would follow and track the children. And about 5 years ago, they put in intervention counselors, so I actually don't need to go and find these children anymore, because the meth problem in Keller with the parents, I know, you think about it,
wow.
The parents doing meth and drugs is huge. And it's at Fossil, Central, and Timber Creek.
Okay.
It's kind of like on the other side of Keller, which
major
is actually
high schools and
very major. Yeah.
Big 5A schools.
That and they were actually Fort Worth, but Keller. They go to Keller. So it was crazy how many children I discovered. So now we're tracking about 215 on my app through all these schools, including some of the younger schools.
Okay.
And my board, what we do is basically we go into the school, we're called in, we've got a kid sleeping in a dugout, can you come? So we got a backpack, it's our survival backpack. It's got food cards, it's got food, it's got water, it's got small toiletries, because these kids are called couch hoppers. They'll go from home to home. A lot of times they're being abused at home, or it's not a safe environment.
So they get out of there.
They get out of there.
Yeah.
They're called and so they're survival.
Yeah.
Then they survive, and they'll sleep in cars, they'll sleep under bridges. I mean, these kids, what they're having to go through is something a child should never have to encounter. And so Stepping Stone steps in, and we do everything that a parent would do. We provide computers to help them succeed, cars. We provide mentoring. We provide, if you need to go to the
Can I talk about the cars for a second?
Yeah,
Okay.
go for it.
All right. So her husband, Paul, goes and buys cheap cars.
Cash cars, never more than $2,000.
Yeah. Fixes them up. And then they give them to the kids as they basically, after they've lived with y'all have gotten them back on their feet. Maybe they've gotten a job, and I get to talk about them just because I've spent some time with them. And then they release them with a car. I mean, and what an incredible blessing if you think about it. You're a young teenager, you can't get anywhere, you're on a bicycle, you're trying to get to school, you're living on somebody's couch. How do you do anything? How do you get a job? How do you make your way in the world? I mean, it's insane. For you guys to do that is phenomenal.
It's life-changing.
So keep going. I had to break in and
no,
talk
that's
about
fine.
that
That's why we have a used car parking lot next door. But I mean, it is important. It is so important to have the computers, the laptops, the cars, the toiletries. We have so many kids that, we get calls, that are at risk. They can't afford to go to the doctor. Whoever they're living with, a lot of times it's grandmothers.
Yeah.
We went on a call yesterday into one of the middle schools and met with one of the younger siblings. Then we went to the high school. It was a grandmother that's taking care of her 3 grandkids, and she's having a hard time. They were removed, and because of the severe abuse these children had to go through. So we go in there, we meet with the counselors, we start triaging what do we need to do to help these kids, improve their grades, do they need, do we need to pair them up with a mentor? So it is, and we, several of the programs that we offer, one of them is Work For It program. Whether they work, it has to be a family-owned business.
Okay.
Because we provide a job for these kids to get into an environment that they're protected. Because a lot of times, these kids are taken advantage of. So they have to be a family-owned business. They take on these children, they get paid. They learn a trade, and they're being mentored at the same time. So that's the Work For It program. I have 2 companies that they work for. They also go work at the boutique.
Tell them about the boutique. Tell them about
the boutique is amazing.
Just as an example of what y'all are doing to put kids to work and taking in donations, just because it's unique.
Okay, this boutique is on steroids. It's beautiful. It really is. I mean, everything is private donations. We don't get any federal funding. All private donations. It's people from our community that will bring us their nicest items. The boutique is gorgeous, from home decor to purses to jewelry. Everything is sold. Everything is sold to the public throughout the week, and every penny goes to these children. No one gets paid in our organization.
Oh, here's something.
What?
Could people, by going shopping, so shoppers can give to you indirectly and give to these kids, by coming to the boutique, even shoppers can help. Is that crazy?
Yes, absolutely. They can. And the kids, another reason why we have the boutique, I love how we have it set up. Everything's on black velvet hangers. It's beautiful, it's clean. Because these kids don't get what they should, which is far better than what we need. Okay, they need finer. And I've noticed a lot of the kids I've taken in over the years, they will sleep on the clothing that I give them so that it doesn't get taken or stolen.
Wow.
So I want them to have better. You know, I'll have people go, well, wouldn't they just appreciate an old t-shirt? No, give them your finest.
Yeah.
So they get to shop in the boutique year round for free. Anytime they show up, there's no red tapes. We're not asking questions. Our organization is for the children. These children are lost. They're thrown away. And we make sure there's always food there. There's tons of toiletries. They get to come and work for a program. They get paid, mentored, and they learn a trade. So we have landscape systems that also helps us in our community.
That works with y'all?
Yes.
And that's a company?
They own their company. They have 6 of our children right now.
Holy moly. Putting them to work.
Well, not
teaching them and helping them and taking them
Exactly. They all work. Like Ariel and Hayden, Brian took, I think, 5 years ago. Ariel's graduating from Faith Christian.
Wow.
Yeah. And she's going to do a mission trip for 9 months. I mean, these kids are beautiful. They're beautiful. They just need an opportunity.
And Faith Christian is a private school.
Yes, that they pay for.
That's not free.
No.
Right?
Brian and Melissa pay for it.
Yeah.
So they have 10 children. 6 of them are from Stepping Stones Foundation.
Holy
It's
moly.
not foster. No one gets paid. No one's getting paid.
That's amazing.
So this is, you know, it's an organization that we do because we're called to do these items. When I was raised, my mother never asked my grade. She's asked, "What's your good deed for the day?" And that's it. And it is. It's not like, "What'd you do?" You know, Christmas is coming. Let's get something. You know, what's your good deed for the day? And I think that that's real important. And if a lot of people did that, there would be a lot less hurting people in this world.
Is giving a part of your lifestyle?
It is my lifestyle.
Is it from your core? From your grandmother, from your mom?
From my mother.
Right.
My mother was that way. She had 5 kids. I would show up with pets. When I was in high school, I took in 2 of my friends.
Mom, they're living with us.
Sorry, got another one. So
we need help.
No, it is crazy, but it is something, I don't know. You know, my dad, they were Catholic, and my goodness, never missed. And I don't know, but my dad did say before he passed, you know, you're serving, and that meant a lot to me. That, you know, to get that type of from your parents. So, I mean, I just feel it's something, you know, we're given a gift and we give it away. I've never taken one photography class, and I climbed to the highest you could. I mean, to be published, but that's not my money. And so I could buy a car every year from what I've invested in children, but I don't know. I feel you invest in yourself.
But what's more rewarding? Let's be honest.
Investing in others.
Yeah.
Not me, but investing in others, because I see what it does. And there's so many children I couldn't even, one of these days I will count how many I've taken in. But it is very rewarding to see how they turn around. They all come back and help. We're doing a clothing event in 2 weeks. Ariel will be there, Hayden will be there, Hannah, Bella. They'll all be there. All these children that we've taken in and helped, they're helping us help the other children.
Help the next set of children that
the
are
older
coming
ones
that need help.
Yeah.
And now I've heard there's a number like a little over 200 children, 200 kids in the last 20 years.
Oh, no, that's just this year. Okay, we're tracking over 200 this year. There's thousands upon thousands. Okay, well, I mean, there's these are current ones that we're tracking, over 200. Okay. They're in our Zoho system. And the reason why
What is that?
Okay.
What's a Zoho system?
Okay, it is an app that we created because we're not a Band-Aid. No.
Okay.
It's an app that we purchased. It allows us, because we're not a Band-Aid, if they come through us for any item, or if we need them for food, they're needing food or toiletries or whatever, we put them in our system and we track and we keep up with them. How are you doing? What do you need? I don't want these kids to fall between the cracks. They've already fallen.
Okay.
We don't need them to fall any further. And so it's real important, because some of them are, they feel bad reaching out, but we reach out to them like, okay, where do we need to go? We track, do you have your driver's license? Where are you working?
Mm-hmm.
What are you needing? I mean, we want to make sure, just like parents track our children.
Sure.
We have a lot of them.
Yeah.
And there's only 4 of us right now that do outreach, but it's life-changing, just, really working with these kids.
It's amazing, telling your story. Let me simplify it, okay? Just if you're okay with that. This is a published photographer who comes from a giving family and decides, I want to go help some kids. Goes up to a high school or a middle school. And says, what can I do for some kids? And the principal says, here's some kids that need some help. 20 years later, you are running a boutique, helping feed, find, track kids with their needs from modern technology, to be a part of that so that other people can help them, helping these children get to jobs, giving them cars. I mean, it's for most people that are going, I really want to do something, they don't know where to start. How can they get in touch with you? Okay, so we're going to put her website after the videos. They can get in touch with you. What can they do to help? Kind of walk the viewers.
So many.
Give them some ideas.
Well, we would love. We need more mentors.
Okay.
We need funding. If
Okay.
some people just want to write a check, we definitely need mentors, people to donate to the boutique, people to shop the boutique, and people to volunteer to help sort the clothing, maybe help the children at the clothing event. Because what will happen, the kids come through, we have to have a volunteer that takes the child and will shop with them.
Okay.
And so that's coming up in a couple weeks. So there are so many different ways to volunteer. If you have a small business, maybe you want to hire some of our children.
Yeah.
With the Work For It program, there are so many different ways. You can help with some of our fundraisers. There's a lot. You can give at North Texas Giving Day. Gift cards for food because of our kids. They're on.
Food's big.
Food's big. We don't have a food pantry.
Right.
Because of our kids, they're tracking, and we're trying to place them, because we have to place these children in either our homes or we find homes for them.
Right. And they're couch hopping.
They're couch hopping. Yeah, we call them couch hoppers. But so gift cards for gas, for food, things like that. There's a lot of different ways to help.
And then they have to use it for essentials, which is, I'm assuming, they need so much of those things. Every day they need to be able to go and buy deodorant and
they come the
toothpaste and
boutique.
those
We
kinds
have
of
all
things.
that stuff, but there is so many things.
Good.
Whether it's school supplies or they have to be armed with stuff. Even like a gas card, to where if they need to ride with a friend, they offer, hey, pull over, I'll give you $5 in gas.
Gotcha.
So we arm them with quite a bit, but we triage and start treating and following through to see what we can do to get these kids on track and keep them on track.
God, that's huge. Well, I always feel blessed when I get to sit down and have discussions with people that I believe are doing incredible things for humanity. There's no shortage of need out there for what you're doing, even in a city where, most people go, there should be no kids that really need anything around here. But there sounds like there's a crazy amount just right here in our own little city.
Yeah, there is.
I'm very thankful. I feel very blessed to be able to have the discussion with you. Thank you so much for all that you do. Thank you for helping kids. I'm a father. I have kids. Kids are near and dear to my wife and myself. And these are the things. What you do matters. And I know you know that, but sometimes hearing it from other people, sometimes as you've got kids and you're going through this, you've got kids of your own, you're helping people. There are people out there like me who go, man, I'm really glad she's doing what she's doing. And I want to help her. I want to help you find her. I want to help you be able to donate your time and your money, or both, or one of the other. help her help more kids. You know, it's that simple. We're all so very blessed. It's amazing what we have in this country, you know? And I want the public, the viewers, as they find this and they go, man, I really want to help some kids. Well, help Christina. She's doing some amazing things for children, you know? So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
We truly appreciate it. I know you've got stuff to do, but I thank you for taking your time out of your day and coming and sitting down with us.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.